Hello and welcome back to the Summit 4. This is going to be the qualifiers, trying to get on into this game. My name is Lyrical Gangster. I'm going to be doing this one solo today. Archon Dota up against Elite Wolves. We saw in the first one, spoiler alert, Elite Wolves ended up taking that one with a really solid draft. Incredibly powerful, and wondering if they're going to end up trying to go for something similar last time. Obviously the Alchemist is going to be banned out, so probably not, because that was kind of the centerpiece and the cornerstone of their draft. And instead this time we're going to start off with the Broodmother first ban out, as well as a Doom, followed by the Alchemist. As I mentioned, Tusk into what I believe was a Queen of Pain first pick, Shadow Fiend, Ember Spirit, Gyrocopter, and then the Dark Seer band on out. So relatively standard opening actually so far. I feel like at this point in time, if you got the Queen of Pain and the Gyrocopter, you've got a heck of a lot of burst damage that's coming down right at the very start of the fights. You're going to be able to lay down, if you want, a Sonic Wave as well as a cooldown on top of heroes. The main thing that they're going to need now at this point in time is some type of control element. And you might end up seeing here as well, it actually might have been a Shadow Fiend first pick into a Queen of Pain, Gyrocopter, Ember Spirit, because Ember Spirit I think is a really great response to these two picks right here. You've got a hero that thrives in ability to being able to sort of not get locked down. And at this point, there's no real reliable stun. I think that we saw a game earlier today where Gyrocopter didn't even end up leveling Homing Missile throughout the whole course of the game because he just wanted more survivability. And the fact of the matter is that against an Ember Spirit, it's not going to do that much in terms of your ability to lock that hero down. He can Sleight of Fist dodge it, he can remnant away from it, all of these things. And at the end of the day, you're really going to have a tough time being able to lock this hero down unless they get some other type of solid initiation. So on top of the Dark Seer band out, we also have the Tusk here, as well as the Dazzle Winter Wyvern. So a couple of those defensive supports getting banned out. I think I already mentioned the Tusk, but across the board, the defensive supports banned out here. I wouldn't at all be surprised to potentially see, at this point, Elite Wolves either picking or banning the Earthshaker. If you are going to put the Shadow Fiend in the mid lane, which is I'm assuming what we're going to have, and then an Ember Spirit in the safe lane, and I think they're probably going to pick up an Earthshaker here, then you want to make sure that you're able to keep him safe. And a couple of the heroes that tend to be able to do that are either the Dazzle, the Winter Wyvern, or the Earthshaker. And particularly with an Earthshaker, you have the potential to counter gank to a certain extent. If the Queen of Pain is right there, it's not super solid. Like, you have to hit timings exactly precise, but if you're able to have one more hero rotate, it becomes a lot easier. Potentially you lay down the fissure, get the long range stun, double raise into one more right click. Usually it ends up taking one or two right clicks, but if you have another hero there, potentially like a Rubik or like a Lion or somebody else that can roam around, then you have the possibility there to set up a really nice gank and win that early lane. So we'll see if that's what they want to go for. Certainly a lot of other options on the table at this point in time. You do still have the Lina in the pool as well, and if you combo a Lina with a Rubik support duo, it's a really solid combo. So I wouldn't at all be surprised to see one of those two options. Obviously heroes, and interesting, they go for the Night Stalker. This one surprises me a little bit, I'm not going to lie. Obviously a great hero, incredibly powerful, does have the ability to lay down that long duration silence at nighttime. That value point at level 1, once you end up getting to that nighttime period, ends up going to 5-second duration. Absolutely crazy in terms of your ability to lock down that Queen of Pain, and also shuts off a great deal of the vision throughout the whole course of the game, which can really mess up your any type of gank that you might want to engage on the Shadow Fiend as well. But Earthshaker's still in the pool because Archon ended up deciding to go for the Undying. Very interesting as well here. You know, I feel like Undying ended up doing a whole heck of a lot for him last game. It really helped a lot. It was one of the sort of core bright spots of their draft. And I'm a little bit surprised that it didn't get banned out. I mean, the Tusk obviously had a pretty good game too. He ended up picking up that really early Blink Dagger. But you kind of wonder at this point, like, at one point in time, the Undying had 4,200 HP, which is absolutely ridiculous. So you end up going for that fast Aghanims on the Undying. Maybe in this situation, I don't know. All right, so we'll run this through in a second here. But Skywrath Mage picked up, as well as the Slardar. Part of the reason I felt like Undying had a really good time there in lane was because he was able to snowball in with the Tusk and able to really shut down that lane early, get a good amount of farm, and make the kills happen. The problem ended up coming about because you had an Alchemist that got crazy fast farm, ridiculous amounts of it, and was just able to snowball through your team. And the Aghanim Scepter there last picked up for the Legion, being able to shut down. But the Shadow Fiend, I believe it was, or it might have been the Undying actually. But either way, the Undying was really one of the heroes that was keeping Archon in the game last time, and I'm a little bit surprised that Elite Wolves didn't opt to try and take him down this time. We do have several silences, which will be pretty good, because if you don't get off Undying's kit, if you're not able to get out the Tombstone there at the start of the fight, or the Decay stacks if you end up picking up an Aghanim Scepter, all of a sudden your impact becomes a lot less, and all you are is sort of a right-clicking machine for a hero that isn't as tanky as he normally is. So, something to think about there. We also have the Rubik band out, as well as the Nyx Assassin. And waiting for one more pick here out of Elite Wolves. The Nyx certainly would have been pretty terrifying in terms of the ability to shut down any one of these heroes in lane, or not in lane, but as they're farming on at the jungle, particularly the Gyrocopter. And with the Skywrath Mage there as well, it just makes it all the worse. I do feel like the Skywrath Mage is a little bit of a strange pick. I mean, in the mid lane... Well, no, not in the mid lane even. In the off lane, I guess they have a chance to really harass out the Undying and mess with them a lot, and Skywrath Mage should be able to get away relatively easily, but it's still a little bit wonky. It creates some problems, I feel like, because if he does not end up going for and being able to get those clarities up and continue to toss out those arcane bolts, he's going to have a tough time in lane, and Undying can break his clarities with Decay, but we end up seeing the Omni Knight picked up instead, so... Looking like this is a really interesting one. What a bizarre draft. It's pretty cool though, because again, a lot of the stuns that you have right now to deal with the Ember Spirit, a lot of the silences, a lot of the everything that you have are countered by repel. So at this point, Archon are going to need to pick up somebody who's a natural diffusal carrier, and honestly, that puts him in a really weird position because now. I guess you would have to do it on a support unless you wanted to run Gyrocopter as a support. They certainly have a lot of time to think about it. 140 seconds. I think that Omni Knight pick is devastating right there, actually. Unless they're able to have somebody. You know what? Shadow Demon. Shadow Demon might be the pick right here. I think that's pretty solid because it solves a couple of other problems that they have also. You're able to set up the Queen of Pain ulti as well as the Gyrocopter one. Have really solid initiation. You can set up a Slardar stun if you wanted to run, Slardar in that off lane position. You could potentially go for an aggressive tri-lane. They go for the Silencer instead. Interesting. I guess that is the problem, that Ember Spirit's still just going to be able to remnant away, so they're going to try and solve that by keeping the Silencer there. And I guess, again, this becomes so difficult because at a certain point in this game, Elite Wolves are just going to be able to choose their team fights that they want to take because they're going to have the Night Stalker with the Aghanims and the gem up. So Silencer's just going to have to sit in Fountain, basically, to be able to not get picked off there. This could be really, really tough. That's the thing that's so difficult about going up against Silencer, or going up against Night Stalker, is that you're able to sort of consistently pick the team fights that you want to take. You can disengage usually fairly easily, and with a lot of these heroes, it won't be that big of a problem. You've got Repel to be able to make sure that you get away. There's no natural diffusal carrier to deal with that either, so Ember Spirit's going to be fine just to run ham. This could be very difficult. And even in lane right now, if you end up getting to that 4-minute mark with Night Stalker, he's got a couple of points in those skills that make him run oh so fast. The Omni Knight is able to toss him out a repel on top of him, and he can dive tower, just no freaking problem. On top of that, you got the potential for a heal bomb as well. But anyways, enough about that. Let's introduce the players that we've got going into this one. For Archon, Fluff and Stuff is going to be played by the Silencer. We have 747 on the Queen of Pain. Mu is going to be playing your Slardar. We have Whitebeard on the Undying, and Jo is going to be playing that Gyrocopter. Meanwhile, down in the southwest, Baek's going to be playing the Night Stalker. We have Fanboy playing the Ember Spirit. UMR is going to be playing that oh-so-lovely Skywrath Mage. Oh, is that Skywrath Mage? Nope, he's playing the Omni Knight, excuse me. They're all in a big clump over here. What's going on? It's like a party time. Super party time. All right, I need to get back to the introductions. We've also got Van is going to be playing the Shadow Fiend. And last but not least, TPing up to the top lane. Oh, bottom lane. TPing to the bottom lane. Masuko is going to be playing the Skywrath Mage. Did opt to go for just a lot of the very supporty builds instead. Doesn't actually have any mana regen, so he's going to need to be very frugal with his usage of Arcane Bolts. Or is he bringing some out to him on the salve? What is going on right here? No? Okay. Apparently he's just bringing the curry a little bit further forward. Undying is actually going to be the one to get the salves. Or something. Weird. All right, whatever. No problem. Team fight coming on up here, probably by the rune. We'll see how this ends up shaking out throughout the course of this. I do believe that we have a stronger fight for the runes over here to the side. We do end up running the Omni Knight into the Undying, and this is going to be a boots first Undying in the offlane. What the heck? I don't think that's what he meant to do. Don't worry, Meg. Nobody saw you. Don't worry about it at all. He's going to just drop the ward down there and present it as a gift to the Undying. Please take my ward, good sir. I wish you all the best in your hunt for my ancient. All right, Fanboy now, as well as Moo, hanging out in this area. They end up spotting each other. We don't have Raze taken quite yet. That's going to be a curse on top of 3. Raze does end up getting taken there in the end. Another little jump back Void on top of the Gyrocopter. And they're going to leave this one for 747. Meanwhile, top rune uncontested, unclaimed. Nobody wants it up top. This is interesting. They're going to end up spotting it as you go by here. So it looks like we're probably going to have Archon get both runes. I don't imagine... Are they really just going to let this one fly? Nobody knows that the bounty rune's here. Nobody went for the bounty rune. The heck is this game? Oh my goodness. Who's going to find out about it first? This one actually is probably just going to go the whole length of the game. They catch a glimpse of it. Oh, go get it. No, they don't find it. Oh, no bounty rune. GG. I wonder if they're going to spot that somebody doesn't have the right amount of EXP. All right, Whitebeard getting a good amount of harass over here as well with the Void and the Silence on top of him. Looks like it is going to be a tri-lane down bot of the Night Stalker as well as the Ember Spirit and the Skywrath Mage. Messing around with 2 melee heroes. This is Skywrath's time to shine. Absolutely. And the off lane Omni Knight going for the boots first, does have Purification up, also has a little bit of a Clarity off there to the side as well. There we go. Don't worry guys, I got it. We're good to go. Overlay happened. These things happen. They just had Mrs. Gangster come on out from the bedroom and let me know that that was going on. Oh, Fanboy ends up getting caught off there to the side. Moo dealing a lot of damage. Slardar ends up getting the first kill. Nicely done. Whitebeard as well now. Going to end up trying to chase here a little bit more if he possibly can, but might be a little bit out of his element. We do have another crush down if they wanted to try and make it happen, but with several stacks of decay, they're going to opt to not have that one happen. Sorry again about the overlay. These things happen. All right. Clarity coming on down. Whitebeard going to take a little bit of harassment off to the side. Is burning through those decay stacks. Does have Tombstone if he wants to go for it, but opting not to. You know, up top, not a whole heck of a lot to report so far. This is really where all the action's going to be. The question is, are they actually going to be able to get a kill on this Undying? I feel like it's a little bit tough. You do have Void, you do have Arcane Bolt. You're about to probably have a concussive shot as well, I'm imagining. He might go for Silence, actually. If they're able to get a Silence off on top of the Tombstone... Oh, Tombstone goes down. Fanboy in a little bit of trouble now. Does opt to turn on this. Gets both of the chains out. That's going to be Slardar turning around here. Maybe going to be able to make something happen off to the side. No, they're going to just be able to turn around and take this Tombstone down so quickly. That's the problem. Level 1 Tomb, really not able to sustain their lane. In the mid lane, it's worth noting, the Queen of Pain has been able to go 8-1 versus the 5-1 of the Shadow Fiend, so a little bit more into their favor. Undying still trying to dive tower a little bit, seeing if he can find anybody off to the side here. Decay stack goes down. That's going to be a Silence down on top of him as well. Night Stalker's here. Void one time. Fanboy trying to get a little bit of a last hit off. Chains hit onto 2. That's going to be a crush, though. He might be able to turn this one back around. Able to take down the Ember Spirit. We do have the Undying fall to the Skywrath Mage as well. But I think that that's worth. Really, really solid. Getting one of your dual off lanes for the safe lane carry, I think that's worth every day. Nicely, nicely done. It is also worth noting that the top lane's going pretty well as well. Archon trying to turn this one back around. They've had enough. They really want to be able to make this happen if they possibly can. Now, the key thing here is that as long as they're still getting a good amount of levels, like, Ember Spirit might be a little bit hurt and foolish. He's level 2 right now, and Moo is just going to be able to run him down, trying to create some type of separation, but honestly, they're not afraid at all. Ember Spirit is legitimately level 2 right now. This is really bad, because one of the ways that Ember Spirit's able to function as a carry, it's a bit like Gyrocopter in a certain way, where if you don't get a ton of farm early, it's not the end of the world, because you're going to be able to sort of catch back up by taking team fights, because your spells do so much damage. Your Remnant deals a heck of a lot of damage. You're also able to hit those chains as well as the Sleight of Fist, long-range initiation, that type of stuff. If you are stuck at a low level as an Ember Spirit, you can't do anything. And you're not even able to farm really efficiently. It looks like they're going to be happy to dive this tower, though, as well. God, this is really not going good right now for Elite Wolves. They're in a bit of a dangerous spot. Whitebeard here has just been able to make a lot happen so far with this Undying pick. Catches another 2 stacks of decay. Why not? One of them on a strength hero as well. Really, really frustrating. Shadow Fiend gets the regen. It's going to be fine here in lane. It's still a tough lane against this Queen of Pain. She can probably kill him when she gets 6. And Omni Knight, meanwhile, he has been able to get some amount of EXP. Looks like he's going to TP back to lane again. He does have the potential to get Dove. Also, Slardar is just so emboldened, not afraid of anything. Going to pull the creep wave off to the side as well. Make sure that they're continually placing facing pressure below the tower here. Also worth noting with that courier dead, just makes everything all the harder, particularly in this mid lane for the Shadow Fiend here. He does have the regen rune, so that helps a lot. But again, just so difficult. So, a little bit more right-click damage here. Sometimes you end up seeing this Omni Knight build with a Orb of Venom, but against this type of lane, when you've got the Silencer there who's consistently able to sort of harass you away and force you to use your spells, it becomes a lot more difficult. Ooh, canceled the crush there. Thought about it. You wanted it. A little bit back and forth, thinking about going for the crush there as well. Gonna jump away from the Silencer here. Should be fine to walk away from that one, I believe. Another little crush canceling animation. Oh, Whitebeard silenced up. He's going to fall real quickly. That's a kill. Crush not going to be enough to be able to make that happen. Another little hit off to the side, slowing on down Moo. He's getting chased again. Is they going to be able to make the kill happen? Another Arcane Bolt. They're silenced again. One more hit is going to be enough. Right click there from Nighttime Night Stalker and the Queen of Pain coming in. He's going to be able to TP out. Solid play there. Night Stalker doing everything that he needed to do. And Skywrath Mage saving his life there at the end too, I believe. He probably still would have gotten out. She didn't have a way to TP or cancel the TP, but still. It's one of those situations where you got a level 7, you're going to be able to hit the Scream of Pain, probably afterwards hit a Sonic Wave as well. There was a problem being able to spot him as well, which is a bit tough, but all in all, nice initiation there. And Elite Wolves making a little bit of a comeback now. Take a look at net worth yet again. This is going to be the Gyrocopter up at the top, but the Shadow Fiend's been able to catch back up after the Queen of Pain TP's away. Also, we've been seeing a couple of stacks, or at least clearing of the creep camps by the Shadow Fiend, which has been helpful. The big problem right now for Elite Wolves is that they don't have any way to contest this Gyrocopter's farm, and they need to make that happen. Now, the other flip side here is that once you end up getting a decent amount of those core items up, there isn't a defensive support to be able to keep this Gyrocopter alive on this team. The closest thing they have to it is a Silencer dropping global, or the Undying being able to rotate on in with the Tombstone as well as the Soul Rip, which is still really hard to be able to make anything happen there because his movement speed isn't really that great. There's the jump forward. They're going to be able to catch Whitebeard yet again. So much magical damage coming out with the quickness. Does get Tombstone out. It's not going to be enough, though, and it looks like they're going to opt to finish this one off. Oh, call down. Gyrocopter with the rotation. This might be the turnaround that they need. Fanboy dropping low yet again. Gyrocopter kills the Night Stalker. Nice rotation from the Omni, trying to keep his buddy alive. Is able to fog away from the damage as well, but coming in from the other side, Queen of Pain jumps forward. Scream able to kill the Skywrath as well. Double kill for 747. Now it looks like he might be looking for a little bit more on this Omni Knight. I don't think that he has enough to kill him here, probably. We also... Oh, he didn't have any mana. There was a chance. Man, oh man, solid counter initiation there. The Tombstone does drop while they're going for it. You get the crush on top of the two heroes hitting it. Afterwards, the rotation and the call down on the Gyrocopter. The Omni Knight wanted to be there, wasn't quite there quickly enough, and... At the end of the day, Archon come out on top with a tower taken as well. Nicely done. Does look like Omni here is going to try and find Whitebeard if he can. Wanted to go for the snipe with the Purification. I saw you, Omni. He wanted it. Alright, let's see. Another little bit of extra damage here. Fluff and Stuff goes down with the silence coming out from the Skywrath Mage, as well as a good amount of void damage coming out there. Nicely done. Looks like Slardar is going for a Force Staff first. The heck is this? Very interesting. I guess it makes a good amount of sense wanting to be able to create that extra little bit of separation. Once Omni Knight ends up getting those extra levels up as well, you're going to have problems with Degen Aura, so you need to create that separation, and Sprint might just not do it. So it's going to be a little bit of a different build this time. I think that this is more suited towards trying to farm and then being able to escape after the fact than necessarily trying to take fights and initiate onto your opponents. And I'm not sure who that favors quite yet. It's really going to depend upon sort of the initiations that we find. Oh god, E-Wolves might be in a little bit of trouble. There's going to be the Silence coming on out. Isn't going to be able to repel himself here, but with the Night Stalker in the area as well, Omni Knight should be fine. Slardar, you are playing a dangerous game, gentlemen. You don't even have a freaking TP. What is he doing? Like, they can just jump on him now, I feel like. We do have some nice wards over here. Alright, yeah, they're going to be able to actually spot him. Okay, never mind. I'm dumb. Yeah, he was perfectly fine there. He knew exactly how much time he had before he was going to have to run away. With the Shadow Fiend and Skywrath rotating over, he was going to be perfectly fine. So, good rotation. We have the Undying moving over as well. If they wanted to, they could try and initiate here. We don't have the Force Staff quite up yet. But with the Flame Guard coming up as well, no real clear way to break that. It does become a little bit more difficult. He's going to drop his Stout Shield as well. Alright, here comes the rotations. Queen of Pain is here as well. She only has, at this point, the Ogre Club. Is going to find the Night Stalker right at the start. Awkward moment right there. You lay down the ward, the Queen of Pain spots you, blinks over the top of your head. The heck did I just see? Top lane yet again. Omni Knight trying to get as much EXP as he can. Doesn't have quite level 6 yet. Would love to be able to get that for the next little couple of team fights that are going to come out here. Certainly would help for the Ember Spirit as well. And if he's just able to get a Guardian Angel off as well as a repel on top of the Ember, I think that he should be fine. All right. Here comes the rotation. They're going to smoke on through to the side. I don't believe that this was within range of the Dire. They're going to find the Undying right over here to the side. Tombstone going to come out as well. That gets dropped. All right, a little bit of a not hitting on the chains on the Slardar. Jump forward. Wipebeard taking a lot of damage. There's the Global Silence, though. This is a problem. Fanboy is going to drop real low, trying to TP away as quickly as possible. Is going to be able to do it, but the Ember Spirit ends up going down. Meanwhile, in the other side of the map, the Silencer gets the kill on the tower. A little bit of a disaster there for Elite Wolves. Jump forward yet again, trying to TP away. Is going to be able to break that one. Oh no, the Shadow Fiend ends up going down. Huge kill there for the Gyrocopter. Really, really well done. Whitebeard now as well. He can keep on farming away as much as he wants. And Omni Knight, while he does not have level 6, is getting precariously close to it. And that's going to help him out a lot as well. Fluff and Stuff top lane picks up his urn, ready to deal that DOT. Fanboy pushing on up, still only level 6. Take a look at those levels. Like, he's hurting a little bit. Actually, he just hit level 7, so a little bit better, but not a tremendous amount. Let's take a look at the team net worth at this point. 5k into the lead of Archon. In terms of EXP as well, we're looking at a 20k lead. Well done there. This Omni Knight's been playing so aggressive in terms of his wanting to move forward. Oh, up top. We do see a silence there on top of the Ember Spirit. Rocket Barrage coming out as well. Another call down here. Do they have enough to follow it back up? No. Stun coming out. Oh, he gets away at the last second. He actually got off the chains. I wonder if he would have been able to Remnant away. I don't think he actually had one. Undying, meanwhile, able to take down the Night Stalker in the bottom lane. Tombstones abound. Nicely done, Undying, being able to finish that one off. Looks like he's going to be going for Tranquils next as well. So opting to play that very much support-ish role. Meanwhile, we get another little catch off to the side here. Slardar has finished off his Force Staff, so if his positioning is good, he can still get a lot of the same type of initiation as you get from a Blink Dagger. Obviously, it's not as long of a range. It doesn't end up quite working in the exact same way. It's a little bit finicky, but not terrible. Ooh, there we go. Jump forward. Is going to get silenced, though. Thought about it. Slardar's going to back on up now. Oh, but Queen of Pain here does end up getting revealed. What's going on here? That is awkward. That's going to be a jump forward, and that's a dead... Oh, nicely done. Kills the Shadow Fiend. Somehow the Queen of Pain was just revealed right there off to the side. A little bit dangerous. Jumps forward onto Whitebeard. Fanboy does end up catching him over here, but with the rest of the Radiant, Dire rather, coming over to the side, you need to be careful with this initiation. Don't want to find a Tombstone. Nice Force Staff forward. Is going to be able to hit the Slither and Crush. Nicely done, but the turnaround with the Purification. Ember Spirit able to get one last right click onto the Undying, and that's going to turn this one back around. Repel is up on the Ember Spirit, but he doesn't have a ton of mana. Meanwhile, the Night Stalker sitting off to the side is going to find Legend. Silence down one time. Is going to be able to avoid as well, but it's not really a heck of a lot of damage yet again. Needs to turn around. Crush hits by the Slardar. They do have the potential to reinitiate if they so desire. It is going to hit a concussive shot as well, but just going to back on out. Nicely done so far. Looks like Silencer is going to be going for Treads as well, opting to make that mana pool go that extra little bit that you need it to. Jo up in the top lane has been able to farm himself up Helm of the Dominator as well as Phase Boots. And Shadow Fiend just continuing to do Shadow Fiend things. Queen of Pain hanging out as well. He's going for the BKB first. Very interesting. Meanwhile, Whitebeard's going to be dewarding again. I don't know completely how he knew that one. He must have just realized it when they were ganking him, that there must have been a ward there. I think that this is going to be a smoke on up into the Dire jungle. Do we have a potential to catch on out the Gyrocopter over here? It looks like we might. He's going to be in a little bit of trouble now. Does end up getting silenced up. There's the Mystic Flare. Another kill. Purification comes out. That's going to end up being a dead Gyrocopter. Scarith Mage gets the last hit. Silence dropped as well. Looks like Fanboy's in a little bit of trouble. Is going to be able to hit the Remnant. Nicely done. Away from that one. Isn't going to be able to make his... sprint? No. Not going to be able to get that kill. So Global Silence used for that one. And at the end of the day, 1,200 gold swinging back into the favor of the Radiant. Nicely done. Let's see, mid lane, Fluff and Stuff, as well as 747, waiting for their opportunity to jump forward and take on down the tier 1 tower. We also have the Slardar still here with that Force Staff. Might be saving for Blink next, just going that ultimate utility route. We've seen that a couple of times on several other heroes, but on Slardar, very much the exception to the rule, I would say. Like, I feel like you almost always go Blink on Slardar just to be able to create that extra bit of initiation. I guess that you do still have like the possibility to jump forward with the Queen of Pain as well, but there's like a lower cooldown, all these things. I don't know. I guess it's really just that he wants it for that escape potential, and makes some amount of sense. I guess Fanboy taking a good amount of damage over here from Whitebeard might opt to turn on this if he wants to, but not knowing where the rest of the heroes are becomes a little bit dangerous. They're going to be Roshing while this is going on. Fluff and Stuff drops ward as well. No real Radiant Vision off to the side here. We do have this one, which I don't think spotted them going into the Rosh pit. I feel like Radiant would be responding a little bit more aggressively if they knew about this, but now they end up seeing the Urn Charge, maybe? You'd think, I guess that they can't contest this is the real thing, and so they're not wanting to. So Gyrocopter picks up the Aegis. We do still have, oh, the Omni Knight trying to run away now. I don't know if they knew that that was happening, honestly. Like, their movement didn't respond like they did know what was going on, so a little bit strange. We do see over there the Scarith Mage able to make his escape. That's not going to really be the case once you end up being able to have that, the amplified damage on top of him. Oh, Omni Knight, not where you want to be at all. Does end up taking a good amount of damage here. The Repel is on, but is going to end up falling to the Undying. Not quite enough in time. They're all separated. Fanboy is going to remnant away, but is it going to be enough? You know, as well, we do have Yomar getting away also. So Night Stalker and the Ember are able to make their way away. Omni Knight is dead, but for only 20 seconds. Like, that's really, it's good recognition there. Oftentimes when you end up seeing in pubs or other stuff like that, an Omni Knight will go on in and, you know, get caught out and then drop Guardian Angel and try and TP away. And it's just not worth it, because that spell is what's going to keep them in this game. The fact that they have that and are going to be able to drop that down once they're pushing high ground is what's going to keep them in it. Fluff and Stuff ends up getting silenced here. Concussive shot down as well. He's going to end up falling. One more right click should do it. Shadow Fiend gets the kill with the raise, actually. And meanwhile, pressure up in the top lane is going to be averted by the Queen of Pain as well as the Slardar. But down bottom lane, we have them a little bit separated. Gyrocopter is here as well as the Undying. They're rotating around. We do have a ton of ward vision in this area, but they're getting chumped on by all sides right now. Is going to be able to catch Jo here in just a second. Does toss out that chains, taking a lot of damage here in return. Needs to back away. Repel comes out as well. That's going to keep him alive a little bit longer. Concussive shot. That's a kill. Nicely done. One time. Can they get it a second? That's the real question here. Oh, Requiem of Souls. Time it. Can you time it? Beautiful. Nicely done there. And Jo ends up falling. Night Stalker actually, a little bit of chaos there at the end. Don't worry. Nobody saw. Well done. So it looks like Undying was 1,600 gold in the bank. Can go for a lot of different things. Last time he ended up going for the Ags. I don't know if that's the option this time around. While it was incredibly helpful, I think that Glimmer Cape might be better just to help your team stay alive a little bit longer, particularly that Gyrocopter, considering you don't have something like a Dazzle or a Winter Wyvern or, you know, anything else to help your team already. Like, you need to be able to be that person to some extent, and I would imagine that that's what he's going to go for. Nope, never mind, I'm wrong. He's going for the Aghanim Scepter. All right, so the real question that I have then, and UMR is going to get amplified damage up. They're going to keep eyes on him. The real question I have is, how are they going to be able to keep that Gyro alive? Because that's going to be the real big problem at this point in time with their draft. Fanboy now going to have to run away. Remnant, one time, no, just going to opt to TP away. And they burn? Global Sounds? Okay, no, it's to kill the Omni Knight. But again, I think that's worth it. You know, Omni Knight still does have Guardian Angel on up. They're not going to be able to push down this tower in time to really make a meaningful impact. Like, I think you burn Global Silence for that. You take that every day for Elite Wolves. Like, Omni, it sucks to lose him, but at the same time... Alright, Tombstone drop down. This might actually be a problem right now. Van is going to end up getting caught out. Lots of damage immediately. Gyrocopter able to get the kill onto him with the call down. That being said, they don't have this for this next engagement if they wanted to try and take it. Fanboy running on up to the high ground is going to Remnant down to the low ground, I would imagine. Looks like we're going to get a little bit of a creep shot off onto him as well from the creep that was stacking. Hiding in the jungle as well. Why not? Nice plays. But they're going to need to figure out how to keep this Gyrocopter alive, because in the team fights, I guess that the way that they've been doing it is just finding the initiation point. As long as they're able to get the initiation that they want, they're going to be somewhat okay with the Gyro. But the smoke ganks that come are going to be really tough. And so I feel like at this point, oh god, Slither and Crush, Fanboy, you're in some trouble. Where's the one bash? Bash one time. He's actually going to opt to try and turn this, but I don't think that he can make this happen. Maybe he can. Are you freaking kidding me? Is he ominously, oh god, so close to remnanting at getting the kill. Meanwhile, we do see Fanboy just having to TP away. Honestly, if Slardar didn't TP, or didn't force staff right there, he definitely would have done. Does have the Blink Dagger as well. So I'm starting to understand a little bit more what they're trying to do. They want to be able to really shut down the vision for E-Wolves, and the fact that they've been able to keep the Night Stalker in check, I think, has been a really key component to them staying in this game and really taking control of it now. They're pushing the tempo. They're making the fights happen that they want to have happen. They are going to run right over here into this smoke. As soon as it breaks, Night Stalker is here. That's going to end up being an initiation onto the Silencer. Terrible start to the fight. Oh, God. That's not the way you want that one to go. Mid lane as well, they're going to jump forward. That's going to be the Ember Spirit taking a lot of damage, is going to be able to silence, jump back. No cool silence coming out for him, though. And that's what I'm talking about. Like, he's able to make his escape consistently. They were able to hit the Crush. They were able to hit the Call Down. They were hitting the Rocket Barrage. All of those things together, but they just didn't have a way for him to be able to finally keep control of them. And I think that really you need to be able to get an Orchid up on this Queen of Pain, and that's what she's working on right now. Because, well, the BKB helps, and it's going to keep her alive longer, and that's desperately needed as well, because they don't have a ton of damage on this team besides her ulti. They definitely also need her to be able to contain this Ember Spirit a little bit more than has been happening so far. Jump forward, blink. All right, that's going to be a kill on top of the Shadow Fiend. 1 bash, 2 bash, 3 bash, 4. Is able to get the ward in the end, so nicely done there. Slardar gets the kill, though. I don't know if that one was worth. Boots of Travel up on the Ember as well. On the Night Stalker. Hasn't really been able to progress in items, but does have 1900 in the bank. Helm of the Dominator on the Shadow Fiend as well. We do have the Omni Knight. Still sitting pretty with that Wizard, Staff of Wizardry. And the Orchid should be coming relatively soon on the Queen of Pain. Still a good amount away from it, actually. And what else we got? Undying with the Aghanim Scepter. Only about 1600 gold away from finishing that one off. All right, they want to contest this. Jayo's in the area. Call Down can come in a second. We've also got Slardar here to the side. I think that they're recognizing now that they're a little bit outgunned. All right, TP's coming in. Slither and Crush is able to catch Fanboy. Global Silence down as well. This is terrible. Ember Spirit's going to end up falling right at the start of this. TPs get canceled and Tier 1 goes down. They didn't realize how many heroes were there, and they weren't quite able to make it happen. So, nicely done. The Radiant wanted to make that fight happen, but unfortunately, they weren't quite prepared for the global coming out, and being able to use that on the Ember is super, super solid, because already he's been fairly crippled, and any little bit that you can further make that happen is so, so key. Like, net worth-wise, let's take a look at the two relative teams. Archon is pretty significantly ahead, almost 10k net worth lead. EXP as well, it's looking like about a 7,500 net worth lead. So if you're able to sort of continue to push on down the chance for Elite Wolves to win. Like, the Queen of Pain, yes, great. She's going to be able to have a lot of damage in the mid game, and she is the most farmed hero in the game currently, vied with the Shadow Fiend. But that doesn't really translate into a late game advantage. The one plus side is that Ember Spirit is still dealing a lot with his spells. All right, UMR taking a good amount here as well. But with the mechanism, he should be okay. Kind of an interesting pickup. I didn't realize he was getting that. The courier just brought it out to him here as well. So opting again, this is another situation where you're seeing E-Wolves go for these sort of tanky heroes, being the 747 should be able to blink away. We do have a reinitiation off to the side though. Moo gonna find on out the Night Stalker. He's gonna blink away after the silence, making sure he doesn't end up getting caught out there. I think that they're gonna be okay. Yeah, there's the jump back. He knew how long the silence was from the Night Stalker, knew that he had that long to be able to get those last hits, and then Remnants away at the last second. Well done. But again, what I was talking about there is that if you take a look at what this Queen of Pain has and what her damage is going to be, she doesn't really have the potential to scale to that like crazy right click and sort of demolisher that you need. So I don't know. I think that she's going to be able to take out this Ember Spirit pretty significantly and pretty easily. Concussive shot down on top of the gyrocopter yet again. We do have the Slardar over here trying to work on that BKB next, I would imagine. Casual cloak on the silence. This Ember Spirit's just getting everything that he wants. He is super tanky. Like, that's the other flip side of this, is that, or he's not super tanky. That's the other flip side of this, is that he's going to be able to consistently keep these lanes pushed out, make sure that he's getting the farm. But if they do end up finding him and get that global down, it becomes really, really dangerous. And it instead looks like they're going to opt to come on over here and try and take the fight mid. All right, Night Stalker does spot them. They don't spot him, though. That vision. Oh, that vision. They do end up blinking on over, trying to catch. They are going to be able to see him in nighttime now. They are going to be able to jump forward in just a second as well. Amplify damage down one more time. They don't want to dive this, though. Oh, God, that's really too bad. That entire smoke gets wasted. Now jump forward onto the Shadow Fiend. Do they have enough to bring him down? I don't think so. What is going on? Tombstone gets dropped. It looks like they're going to try and force this fight. I don't know if this is a good one, though. Oh, God. And on top of that, you've also got the Ember Spirit who's split pushing up in the top lane, and that's going to be a heck of a lot of damage on the tier 2 tower. Now Shadow Fiend with the Repel on him, just going to walk right on up to it like he don't even care. We do have a Soul Rip available to keep this Tombstone alive, so they are going to be able to take down this tier 2 here, but are they going to be able to defend the tier 2 top? That's the question. I've got nice little TP away as well. Maybe they can fight this now. Since Ember Spirit is back in the mix, they could potentially make that happen. Scarith Mage going to back on up as well. And no, still no fights. Just hanging out. Very, very interesting. Very interesting start to this game. The other thing here as well is that, like, the Shadow Fiend, he's got Helm of the Dominator, he's got Sanjin Yasha, he can sort of be that frontline beefy hero, and now that he ended up picking up, or the Night Stalker ended up being the one who picked up the mechanism, it means that they're going to be able to have that extra bit of tankability on their Shadow Fiend, because he didn't have to be the one that went for it. The other problem with this as well now is that you're going to end up, oh, jump forward, Jo taking doing a lot of damage there to the Night Stalker, but again, just pokes and prods, no real commitment to any of these fights yet. So, because of that, it means that the Shadow Fiend can come online a lot earlier in terms of the damage he's able to deal. God, this Gyrocopter is so freaking bold right now. Like, you take a look at this, he has no vision in this area and just not afraid of anything that's going on. Like, the rest of the Radiant team is just right here next to him, and they're not willing to go in and try and fight this. I don't know, this seems dangerous to me. Jo might be in a little bit of a dangerous spot if he sticks around too long. Alright, Roche about to respond as soon as Slardar leaves it. Oh, it hurts, man. Alright, let's see. Shadow Fiend now is building into an Eagle Song. Like, when you end up being able to skip the mechanism, it means that you can get those big items a lot quicker. And honestly, I don't know if Gyrocopter is going to be anywhere near dealing with this. Like, we're going to have the Butterfly online here in probably another 4 to 5 minutes as long as Shadow Fiend doesn't fight and lose it all. Like, I think that he's going to be getting this really quickly here. Probably less than 5 minutes, honestly. All right, jump forward. We're going to see Mu trying to get a lock onto the Omni Knight. Isn't going to be able to make it happen. But they do realize now that Roche is back up. So Aghanim Scepter just finished as well. This is actually great timing right now for them. They get the Aghanim Scepter up. They're going to be able to push this on in, amplify damage down on top of Roshan. The Radiant don't have any idea this is going on. They're going to end up moving on up to try and see if they can get a kill instead onto the Queen of Pain, which probably isn't going to happen considering we do have Global Silence up. But that being said, they probably want to save Global Silence for the next engagement if at all possible. So Roche is going to fall. Meanwhile, top lane, Queen of Pain is going to run on into him. Silence down immediately. BKB popped and she's out of there. Like, it ain't no thing. God, that's frustrating. But we do end up spotting yet again. Omni Knight potentially want to jump in here. No, not going to do it. And the Ember Spirit's going to opt to continue to farm. He's actually going for Manta next, which does kind of make sense. You want to be able to make sure you can get away from that silence. And, you know, Manta, a pretty good way to do that while simultaneously increasing your damage a little bit. But again, I feel like at this point, if Elite Wolves are going to win this game, they're going to need to win it like crazy late because they're just not coming online fast enough with these heroes. And I don't know. It's really tough. And honestly, the other guys are. All right. Omni Knight now is going to be able to walk away from this one. Repelled up again. See, Whitebeard pushing on out, has his Aghanim Scepter ready. We're going to start seeing 10 damage stolen per hit. Excuse me, not 10 damage. 10 strength stolen per hit of decay. And now they feel comfortable just moving on up here with Aegis on the Gyrocopter as well. They've got nothing to fear. Oh, DD is up, though. That's a little bit scary. All right, backing on out yet again. Silence on top of Mu. And disabling his ability to initiate yet again. Need to wait for the next creep wave now. And now the Shadow Fiend actually has his Butterfly up. So this becomes a little bit of a counter timing because you wanted to move up there now that the Aghanims was up on the Undying. But now your sort of main damage dealer. Oh my god, Jo taking a lot of damage there. He's going to have to back on out yet again. All right, Drums Charge popped. Raises trying to clear the creep wave or at least pull them past the tower. Jo trying to do the slow push. Another concussive shot out. That's the jump forward. Oh my goodness. Omni Knight dies at the start of the fight. That's going to be complete and total devastation. Maybe they can turn this back around. Here's the buyback. TP on in. Guardian Angel comes out. That's going to keep him alive a little bit longer yet again. Mechanism pops off as well. Darkness is popped. Are they going to be able to take on down the Omni? He falls again. That's a dieback. They're actually going to be able to turn this back around. Aegis does pop, but do they have enough to make this actually happen? Undying's getting tankier and tankier with every single hit. They're going to be able to take down this barracks. The Tombstone's still standing. Oh, the DD is out for the Shadow Fiend as well, just consistently trying to chip away at them, but it's like hitting them with bunnies. Fanboy taking a good amount of damage. There's the crush onto two. Global Silence down as well. That's going to be a double kill. Oh my god, Silencer taking them down to Pain Town. Whitebeard trying to run away. We hit another little couple of chains on top of these heroes. BKB popped for the Queen of Pain, and they're going to back on out. Archon coming away with 2 barracks. And the Undying getting away on nothing with all of those decay stacks stolen. Aghanim Scepter is going to be picked up. Take a look at that fight recap. 4,300 gold swing, as well as 5k EXP into the favor of the Dire. Team Archon looking good in this one. Man, oh man. All right. Where are we looking next? Like, the thing about this that becomes so much more difficult too as the Gyrocopter picks up the DD is, like, not only do you now have this lane of racks, you've got a huge gold advantage over your opponents. It's going to be an item at least 75, 17k roughly EXP. We're looking at 14k. Yeah, this one is, it's really not looking good. Like, they need to be able to win several team fights consecutively to be able to bring this back into winning territory. But they can't really do that. Maybe I guess that they can try and split push, but split pushing against already losing a lane of racks and not really having that much damage up on your Ember Spirit to begin with is not the situation you want to be at. He just got so gimped in that early lane, consistently getting ran down by that Slardar as well as the Undying, and it was such a dangerous lane to be in. Fanboy moving very far forward with the rappel up. He's actually not that scared. But maybe he should be. All right, Slardar does have a blink. Force crush hits. Turn around, jump away. Remnant back. They're going to be fine. Just posturing. Everybody posturing for position. But I mean, you know, with the Aegis gone, maybe they have a chance now to turn this one back around. Repelled up. Oh god, this is a terrifying. He's gonna have to pop the BKB. Jo dropping low. This Shadow Fiend don't care. Whitebeard is here as well, trying to stay alive. Tombstone taking a lot of damage. We do have a Soul Rook up to keep it alive a little bit longer. Crush onto 2. This is really, really bad now. Purification keeping the Shadow Fiend alive a little bit longer. Meanwhile, the Sonic Wave able to take on down the Skywrath Mage in the bottom part of this fight, which is extensive as all heck. We do see the Silence on top of the Queen of Pain. She needs to run away. Slardar trying to keep her alive a little bit longer. Another Sleight of Fist. Gyrocopter taking out the Night Stalker and the Shadow Fiend. Oh, the turnaround. It's all going down. Triple kill for the Gyrocopter. He is exactly where he wants to be, and there's not a dang thing they can do to stop it. The Queen of Pain, no buyback. The only one with the buyback is the Ember Spirit, and he's still alive. Oh god, 13 seconds until Skywrath's back up. They're going to get the chains on top of Whitebeard, but he doesn't care. He's got Soul Rip on top of him yet again. Does also have the Crush, not quite able to hit, unfortunately, onto the Ember Spirit. Nice dodge from him. But again, this is looking bad, and honestly, the only thing that's stopping them from, like, the biggest problem they have right now is the Tier 2 is still standing. GG ends up getting called. We're moving on to a game number 3, ladies and gentlemen. Elite Wolves versus Archon. This is the BTS qualifiers for the Summit 4 American Division. My name has been Lyrical Gangster. You can check me out at twitter.com/lyricalgangster. Switch the E with a 3, you'll find me, and all my other social media endeavors are over there as well. So thank you guys very much. We'll be moving into Game 2 in just a second.